Okay, right, I'm going to demonstrate a very simple corner pin doing what it does best, which is corner pinning an object, in this case this square, onto a moving image. And one thing I should mention is that our moving image has been, although it's a bit scrappy, it has been taken with a corner pin in mind. That meant having clear corners lit in such a way that they were clear, knowing the proportion that we're targeting, in this case a simple square, and also asking our actor to not move in too jaggy, too uncertain a way. Now that might be a bit of a cheat, but it did make our life a little bit easier. So the process is simple enough. We want to go to our object here and corner pin it into place. Now you may remember, or you may know, that our corner pin functions in a from and a to. It's first of all our from that we need to attend to, and we can go directly to the background. Don't need the foreground present, just need the properties of the corner pin showing, and our 4 from points are there on screen. Okay, and we need to move those into position. I could maybe zoom in, get them, fuss them later if I want. And at this point you lay down, say, a key on just those 4 points. And then you move backwards however amount you require. In actual practice you'd want to move backwards a known amount, probably, say 5 frames or 10 frames, whatever you think is right. Do you notice they're automatically keying now? Though I say you move backwards a known amount, when you're refining it, you can be going in and out 1 frame at a time, or whatever. You could sort of improvise the best way when you're refining it. So there's our from. We've got a little bit of a gap in data there. See, already it's doing its job, predicting where the square is going to be. Okay, well that's not perfect, but it'll do. Now if we go to the composite, and we now need to work out our from points, and they are also at those 4 points, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we need to move them into place. And now we can activate. Boing, 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 boing. So you can see the principle. It's simple enough. Obviously this particular animation would need to be refined. It need to spend a little bit more time over it. There are values in corner pin you could play with, motion blur and shutter. If we go over to something like this, this is a little bit more refined version. Now you'll notice that if we go to, say, this point here, as he's moving the board, it becomes very blurred. So this is where where we've enabled our motion blur, and we've also played with the shutter value to increase or decrease that blur. And if we can see it at work, and hide the on-screen controls, plus, okay, you see that There's a little bit of motion blur on that. If I just set that to 0, you can see the difference. There you go. Let's just zoom in a bit so you can there. Okay. Okay. Blur. It's the inaccuracies of the photographic media that we often need to fake. So things like blur and grain, we often need to spend quite a bit of time on. Okay, so that's the corner pin. It's fairly simple to use and quite convincing. Preparation is the key, though. Preparation.